speaking of the Sun Belt, it seems like we're having a lot of there's gonna be a lot of love for the Sun Belt, it seems like, in these games. Like the next game, the Cure Bowl, that will be happening shortly after, also features a Sun Belt team. Matter of fact, this game that's going to be happening down in Orlando, Florida. I believe it's the Bounce House down at UCF. That'll be the specific host to the Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. Should be a really good group of 5 matchup. I think this is going to be the best G5 matchup that we will see in the entirety of Saturday afternoon action, at least for college football related stuff. This game is going to feature the champions of the MAC, Miami, who is coming off of an upset victory over the Toledo Rockets out in the MAC championship. And Miami is riding high for sure. This Miami team, they have won 5 consecutive games as well. But Appalachian State, they're also standing on business as well. Before their loss to the Troy Trojans in the Sun Belt Championship game, this Appalachian State team was also rolling in the deep as well. You could call it an Adele song because they were also riding a 5-game winning streak too. So this is going to be a really fun football game that is going to be underway. However, Miami it's going to be a contrast of styles. Miami wins with their defense. Appalachian State, on the other hand, Appalachian State wins in a different kind of way. They're kind of like the chameleons of the Sun Belt. They can win in multiple styles. They can also play up or play down in multiple styles as well. And that was somewhat prevalent early on in the year. It was a rocky start for the Mountaineers, but hey, they got that hot start that they were, the hot finish, I should say, that they are looking for. So that's how we find Appalachian State here, runners up of the Sun Belt, because they did get to compete in that Sun Belt championship. Appalachian State is the favorite in this game, as you can see by what the current game line is as of Thursday afternoon. So let's talk about that Appalachian State squad as well. Appalachian State's one advantage that Appalachian State is going to have from the get-go is Appalachian State has the presence of not really having to worry about the starting quarterback for this team. So what we have going on with that, with the Miami quarterback situation, so Gabbert was having a good year. That was the starting quarterback for the Miami Redhawks. Now, he's hurt. He has been hurt for quite some time. And then you also have Avion Smith, who we have not confirmed if he has entered the transfer portal, but to my knowledge, he's also been somewhat non-committal on the bowl game. So for now, we'll say that he's playing in this bowl game. Avon Smith, a dynamic runner. This is a guy that can create yards on the ground. He actually ran for nearly 100 yards against Toledo to help win the MAC championship, but a very inconsistent passer. This is a kid that has only completed literally half of his passes, and the way that, it's easy to get completions with, the screen game that many college offenses use, that's a little bit of a concern. And this is a guy that is in his 4th year of college football. He's listed as a sophomore because of the COVID year. And then also he had a redshirt year in 2021 as well. So he's a sophomore redshirt now. That's what he is. So how does Appalachian State win this game? How do they become winners of the Avocados from Mexico here bowl game? So I think it comes down to getting to a hot start. Appalachian State knows that this Miami Redhawks team likes to rely on its defense. They want to keep it low scoring. Get them out of that right away. Start with a touchdown or at least like 10 to 14 points on your first couple of drives. That is how you start to see Miami maybe freak out a little bit. While it is easier said than done to go about accomplishing that, the Mountaineers, they do have a very ultra-efficient passing game that should help them keep things going, and they also have a ground game that should push for close to 200 yards. So they have the tools to get it done, and then simultaneously, their defense, while it isn't anything amazing, it has generated lots and lots of big plays. When you're talking about getting some TFLs, getting some turnovers, and getting some sacks as well, because if you can get them to a 10 to 14 point deficit, Appalachian State has the pass rush to rattle a younger quarterback like an Avion Smith if he does end up playing. And here's another thing too. This defense led the Sun Belt in takeaways. You want to know why this team went to the Sun Belt Championship? Because it's a very optimistic defense, and they are very good at forcing turnovers. When they come up with 2 or more turnovers, they did that seven separate times. They end up winning every single time. That's how they did it. Miami would prefer Appalachian State to be patient. It fits the narrative for their MAC championship game. Hit the field goals, score when there's a chance, keep that score low and the game within range before that offensive line can bust out a few big plays. But Appalachian State, if any team is going to pull off the script of making Miami uncomfortable, they are a very good second quarter team. They've been okay in the first quarter, but in the second quarter, they've scored 140 points this year. That's more than 10 points a game. To do that in a single quarter, that's good. So Appalachian State, essential what they need to do, go into the halftime with a lead, make Miami start to throw the ball. And now we go to the Miami Redhawks. Why I said this, it's easier said than done, getting Miami out of its desired game script. This defense is for real. There is a reason why Miami is standing here as of December 14th as the champions of the MAC conference. Even with a starting quarterback that is hurt, a backup quarterback, which I just confirmed now, Avion Smith is transferring. So I actually have no idea who's going to start for Miami. But they do have some assets on their team as well. They have one of the best kickers in the nation, and Graham Nicholson won the Lou Garza Award, beat out the Alabama kicker. Alabama fans were very disappointed in that, to say the least. But he deserved it. Graham Nicholson, highest percentage in the country, a well-deserved award. And of course, that defense. That defense can do pretty much anything. You want to talk about the mentality of a Ben, but don't break kind of defensive mentality, because they'll give up yards. They gave up some yards in that MAC championship game. But when it comes down into the red zone, they're going to make you work for every single point that you score in that red zone. It's going to be a problem. And more often than not, they're just going to bend. They're not going to break either. It has not allowed more than 16 points to anyone over the last 5 games, including that Toledo team that we were just talking about. Toledo, which, by the way, very good team. A Toledo team that won double-digit games. They are extremely strong against the rush. they have a decent pass rush as well that is capable of creating some heat on the Appalachian State passing game and is strong enough on third downs in order to stall out any drive that the Mountaineers get. Now, like I said, I think it goes to show that since the non-conference slate, this will be the toughest offense that Miami is going to go up against. Because Appalachian State does bring in one of the most dangerous offenses in the entire country. But if they can't get past 24 points, they can't win, or at least they haven't shown it yet. They're just 0-4. So the formula for Miami to win, same thing as that MAC championship game, rely on the defense, count on that running game, and then everything else will take care of the rest. Again, that Miami quarterback situation is sketchy. Formula is simple, though. Run on App State for 140 yards, control the clock, keep the score in the 20s, and that's how you win that Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. However, that being said, when I look at these two teams, while the model is high on Miami, the model thinks Miami will make this far more entertaining than what the Vegas line says. I just think Appalachian State has too much. Zero quarterback experience for whoever is going to start in this upcoming game. I have no idea who Miami is going to trot out there. And because of that, I think App State is going to be able to key in on that run game. I don't think they're going to pass the ball very much with a third string quarterback, essentially, maybe 10 to 15 times. But they're going to key on that run game. And because they're going to constantly have 7 to 8 guys in the box, I don't think they're going to get enough in the passing game. I think App State is just too much. It's going to be a close game in the first half. I think that it's going to be one of those games where App State's going to pull away in the second half. And while I think it'll still be a close game, the score won't necessarily show that. So I think App State's going to win. And I'm going to disagree with the model here as well. I think App State in this situation is also going to cover as well.